then you learn how
Tom,
to read it.
I look, I know I'm your brother and all that stuff. Disclaimer, I'm invested in Tom. You know, I have been for since we were before we were born, we're twins. But it's like I never want to look at a chart without these indicators on them. Like, why would you?
Exactly.
Why would you want to? And this probably costs a lot of money.
Well, it cost me a lot of money to learn and make. It cost me 2 years and well, let's call it a nice fortune in order to, because you have to go through. I went through 75 pieces of government data, 200 market signals, 1,000 different indicators, other people's indicators, made hundreds for clients, and then iterated over mine
Made
over.
hundreds of signals, you mean? Not
Well, I
hundreds of
made
dollars.
hundreds of scripts for
Scripts.
no, hundreds of scripts for clients to figure out what's the best way of programming this. Like, how do you go ahead and program this before I make this? And this is version 2. My version 1 worked great, but gave all your information at least 1 week late.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, because it was directly integrating government data, what happens is the government lies about the data all the time. And so they would it would show a buy signal, and then 3 weeks later the market would crash, and then 3 weeks later they would revise the signal and be like, actually no, it wasn't actually good then. You're
Right.
like, well, so then I have to go through the original, how they were generating the report, and then generate my own signal from that. Like, I had to go directly to the sources like they were doing. I couldn't rely on the reports. I had to go to the source of that information and then calculate it myself, and then I have to adjust it using anyways, polynomial fits and linear regressions and what have you, in order to weigh the data in such way, because I don't know how they're weighing their data. I have to weigh it the way I needed to weigh it. And I didn't know how to do that, so I had to spend 6 months learning how to do that, and then apply it, and then use a signal for another 6 months in order to be like, okay, is this actually working? Because when I got the signal over here down here, I didn't want to believe it. I saw the signal. I was like, I don't believe it. Bitcoin's going to 6,000. Because how do you look at this chart and think that the price is not going any lower?
Right.
Just how? You know what? Let me just take a quick look at Tesla, because I lost nice money on Tesla. I always thought to myself, I'd short Tesla. I'd be one of those guys short Tesla, make tons of money. Yeah, it follows liquidity. Look, Tesla peaked right over there. Here it moved on options. So we have the sell signal, but it came right back down after the H said, hey, see all these H's? They're like, dude, we've moved too far, right? Like, my signal does not integrate options flow yet. It will in the future, and it will be able to account for these things, but that data is not available in TradingView yet. But I said, no, we're in a downtrend, and it came all the way down, and look where it bottomed, right where liquidity turned. Liquidity turned, we moved up. High, come down, bounce off the seasonal, go up, liquidity down, comes down, bounce, comes up, convergence of the currents that brings it upwards, comes over here, H, slow down, here, yellow bounce, and it should just continue going up from here. I wish I had this thing, bro.
Oh my God.
2 years ago.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Tom, I know we got to wrap this up. I want to say that I've been watching this evolution. You say version 1, I don't know, it feels like you've been working on this forever. This version here now is so much better than your initial versions, so much clearer to understand. I remember people were saying before it was hard for them to figure out what to do with your signal.
Well, I had beta testers who are I made this because I have a group of beta testers, and I said, I'll give you free access to all my scripts for life. I just need you to tell me every week, is this working for you? How's this working for you? And they tell me their pain points or whatever, and I use that in order to make these better ones.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to see if your green flow signal for Bitcoin is on point. So what's the next thing we're looking for?
we're looking for, well, I just want to let everyone know they could always go to sacredprofit.com in order to subscribe. It's $20 a month if you want to get the signals.
And
I
you get
recommend
everything. You get flow, currents, energy, tides, and Discord server support.
exactly. You get the better deal is the 180 for the year. You get all the same sort of things, but it's much cheaper. And I think it's one of those things that I get people want to try it for $20, you know, just to see if it works or not. But that's why I do these videos. I want people to know, look, this is what's going on. And I do put out information. I try to put out information regularly in order to make it worthwhile for people to so that they could, I want them to be able to kick the tires with someone explaining to them what's going on versus just figuring it out on their own. Because I think, okay, I give someone a free month, but then they sit there and they're like, I don't know how to use this. And plus
Right.
it's hard. I'm, you know, one guy. So to provide support for a group of people who are using it for free, I can't really do that. I spend all my time making scripts and working on this. There's more scripts coming. I got 3 other ones that are in the works. I'm very, very excited to help clear things up. But so I think the associate one for 180 is a great deal.
And if
It'll
you
give
get that, you get the updates. You get version 3 when it comes out.
you get, yes, you get all the updates as long as you're subscribed. I mean, you don't get the code for the script, you just get access to the script. I do have a lifetime package that I'm doing for 1200, but that's, you have to contact me directly. Like I only want choice people because other than Cycles' bundle, I'm working on other ones that have to do with, anyway, it's a very interesting, there's I'll tease it. I'll have like an astrology one coming. That's pretty interesting. I've been working with my wife to it turns out that certain astrological phenomenons correlate with things in the market, which makes sense because it's the market's an aggregate of human behavior, and if there's some section of the population who believes in astrology or is affected by emotions of whatever, then you might expect that it has some effect. So that's pretty cool. And then there's other stuff where I'm going to be putting together like sort of like a event/social package where what it's displaying on the charts are events, how those events have historically interacted with the price chart, and what have people said about it in the past and how accurate they've been. So I think that'll be
So is this why when I message you, I can't get in touch with you half the time?
exactly.
Fantastic.
So the $1,200 package gives you access to all that, but I think I'm only going to be taking a certain number of people, and it's got to be people I have a history with that I can speak to, and they get all the beta test stuff like that.
I
So
get it. I
it's-
get it.
it's not a-
There's insiders and outsiders, and I guess connect with Tom and become an insider. We can find you on Twitter, Sacred Prophet, sacredprophet.com for the signals. Will we be streaming again soon?
Yeah, I mean, if the price fails and then another ebb shows up, I'll be like, hey, look, I'm here to eat my what do they call it? Eat sour grapes, eat your
Eat your
chud,
foot.
your shorts or whatever. I'll admit that I was wrong. And but if I was right, I got to come back for a victory lap, bro. I'm looking for a 30% increase over the next 30 days. All the way up to 80%. So I think that'd be pretty good. I gotta sell some access to these scripts, bro. I need people to be buying these scripts so they can work on more and better and bigger. So that's the goal.
I like that you present yourself as not some like I don't like when I watch these videos and it's like make it seem like it's guaranteed and sure and I'm right. Like I like that you're being humble with your signals and you're letting us know as things are going, as things are progressing. We can already see what's on the chart. I can already see the evidence of what happened in the past, right? So if those signals show up when they showed up in real time, clearly it's very useful, but you're not presenting this as 100% script. You're presenting this as something that can help you to trade, help you to make decisions, take emotion out of it and see the data for what it is. I'm glad that there are people like you, Tom, out there who are studying the data, getting that all together, because there's no way I'll be able to do it. But I feel like this signal makes it more reachable trading and understanding these charts more understandable for someone like me. And I'm not even a trader. So you traders out there, I mean, take a look at it. $20, you can experiment. You can see if it works out for you. You can get that edge because everybody needs one. And fantastic. Thank you for showing me this, Tom. I'm excited about Bitcoin, but I'm even more excited about the signal and what it can let us know. Take care.
Later, man.
Wow. Wow. You did it, I think, Tom. I think you finally produced a script that is relatable, useful. So don't forget me.
Not reproducible. It'll be very difficult because one of the things that people pay me to do is to recreate other people's scripts. I'm a Ben Affleck in Paycheck. It's very, very fun. And sometimes people just have screenshots. I have a screenshot of this thing. Can you reverse engineer it? I go, okay, let's give it a shot. But this one,
Are
I
you
think
good at that?
people-
You
Yes,
say, let's give it a shot. Are you able to do it?
it depends on the information the person has given me. If they've given me very sparse information, sometimes I can't. Other times I look at it and I know what this is doing. So that's great. But this one, I go, it'd be very hard pressed because what I had to do is I had to make a whole. When I say that I didn't make these indicators for the chart, I didn't. I was analyzing data. So there's government data that's accessible from TradingView, and then analyzing the data and then aggregating it. And so I had to look at the base data, then perform some mathematical calculations on it in order to get a. I'm trying to how to describe it, how to get the base information.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Then I need to figure out, well, what's the best way of interpreting this? Because I'm getting the data, but do I want to do a correlation matrix? Am I doing statistical analysis? Am I doing a linear regression? Like, you don't know what's the best method. So I have to do all the methods to figure out what would work. And then you don't know, well, did it not work because I'm just not good enough for it or whatever it is? And then so then I had to create a suite of indicators. I actually have indicators that are the backbone of these indicators because I need to see how it's processing the data.
Right.
And then I'd be like, well, no one's going to pay attention to this. So then I have to turn it into something that looks good for on the chart. And then that's what you're seeing over here. So for example, the currents. People go, oh, just a yearly average, is a seasonal average, is a daily average. I'm actually just saying that they're not actually those things. It's actually not a year. It's a do I have it here? Give me one quick second. I've never mentioned this before.
Tantalizing.
It's still saved. Yeah, so it's not really a yearly average. It's 1.12 years. It's not actually a month. It's 25.63 days. So it's just that these are approximations for the terms of them are just approximations for the actual calculations. And the calculations are based off the base frequency of the universe. So my calculations go all the way down to to milliseconds, sub milliseconds in order to get the right frequency. I extrapolate it out and I could create this if I had data to 1 million years into the whatever time frame, and then the script reduces the subsection of currents to just the currents that matter for a human being to look at that time frame. But as you change the time frames, the currents change. So the yearly current on the one that you're on right now changes depending on, do I have access to more data or not? Less, because the candles, as you get smaller, as you get to lower time frames, I get more data. So someone would go, I'm just gonna put on a yearly moving average. That's not gonna get it to you, bro. You're not gonna be able to get it that way.
So it sounds like you created the conscious mind for the subconscious market, like it takes all the data, brings it up, and it serves you just what you need to take action on in your conscious mind. Because if you had to absorb everything in your subconscious, you wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, you can't process all that information. And it's sort of like, I always see it as a cork floating down a river. Now imagine all you see is the cork. You don't see the river, you don't see the banks, you don't see the environment, you don't even know that it's a river. And you just see this cork moving. And it's your job as a trader to predict where that cork will go. Or the analogy I've been trying to use recently, and I think I might use it for the next bundle, is catching a leaf out of the wind. And you look. Well, if you don't have the concept of wind, like, what are you going to do? It's basically random. Oh, I caught a leaf. Yeah, now do that 100 times in a row without failing. Okay, it's totally a different thing. But if you're not betting on will the leaf go left or right, but you're betting on will the leaves fall off the tree? Well, then that's a seasonal thing. You go, if I'm headed to autumn, I could bet that the leaves are. So when do you take the bet that the leaves are going to fall off the tree? Well, you don't do it in autumn when the leaves are falling. You do it in the summer.
Right.
You do it at the height of summer, and that's where you take the bet. But people go, these leaves will never fall, and they go, the leaves will fall. The leaves will fall, and then you bet on that way. So it's anyways, I just find it just so fascinating. It's so fun to work on it. I wish I had all my time. If I get 500 subscribers, I just get 500 subscribers, then I could work on it full time. And the things I would create, oh my god, it'd be
This reminds me of that scene in Firefly, the pilot, A Leaf on the Wind.
I was using that as a as my reference. Like I was going to use that as an example of the failed trader, right? Because he dies at the end, right? He's impaled. So I wanted to show I'm a leaf in the wind, how optimistic, and then the meme would be that, and then him dead. But then you can't share people dying on social media. So I decided not to do it. But that's exactly what I think about.
Elon censorship. I'm joking. Well, fantastic, Tom. I'm sure we could talk about this for another hour, and we probably will next time on Sacred Profit. Take care.
Later.